Alright man, we back on gaming. Let me say this right now. We got a lot of things we need to address today due to the fact that everything that I have seen, and I had to even cut some stuff off since this morning because the community is getting ridiculous. It's getting very immature, alright? And it's funny because they talk about maturity, but then act immature themselves. I will speak about that later. But we have to address a lot of things that's going on within our industry, within our community, because guess what? All this shit that's going on, nothing's going to get solved if we don't sit down and talk about these things. And I'm not talking arguing, alright? Not arguing, yelling at each other. I'm saying sit and talk about these things, like adults. And it seems like a lot of people don't want to do that, okay? However, we will do that today. I want to say this now also. I may get a little loud every once in a while due to the fact that they're doing some construction out here, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. You know what I mean? The audio is going to pick it up. So, you know, I can hear it, but it may not pick up on the camera. I don't know. So, I'm going to compensate for what I hear. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let's get started. I want to start off with, and I actually hate to start off with this, but it needs to be addressed, identity politics. Gender identity politics. Here we go again. That's right. Now, look. Media. There's no way you can keep playing this game, alright? And the thing is, I'm talking about GameSpot. That's right, GameSpot. Because, for what I've seen, a lot of people have sent me a lot of messages saying that, you know, GameSpot is a very SJW-heavy site, you shouldn't use it, or use the archive version, and even though I see it every once in a while, I kind of ignore it due to the fact that, you know, the information compared to how they act is completely different. However, this week kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. It really was. Because, for those who don't know, GameStop puts out an article. Women outnumber men in this top collegiate game design program. And I'm thinking to myself, who cares? Who cares? You're still playing this numbers game for what? For what? So that you can make some, get some hits, get some views, get people all riled up again? It doesn't matter the number of people, whether man or woman, whatever you want to identify yourself as, it doesn't matter. Alright, I'll put it like this. If these people make a good game, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. It does not matter if they're a man or a woman. And it seems like they want to keep playing this divide, and people keep falling into it. Like I said, the numbers game, this shit is so fucking beat, it needs to stop. But that's not all. No. Subheader for it, alright? Because the quotes, because they were talking to people, the quotes for it, alright? Check this out. Young women need characters to have as role models. Are you serious? They need characters to have as role models, so just fuck real role models, huh? You need video game characters to have as role models. That's what they're saying. Okay, so where were you since the 80s where you had all these women, you know, in gaming, characters as role models? Where are you then? Huh? It's amazing how we keep seeing week after week after week, they keep denouncing other characters. For example, Bayonetta. Badass character, but nope, too badass because she flaunts herself too much. Nope, can't have that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. What about Samus? Everyone always brings up Samus. What about Samus? Oh, well, she's trans. What? Like, come on. Like, this is what they do. They keep playing divide and conquer. That's all they do. If you go back in history, up to now, you can see that there are so many female protagonists that are great. Even female antagonists that are great in these games. But yet, it seems like they just ignored them. It almost feels like they've never played games. Right? Yeah. You've got to be kidding me that we're still on this. And the thing is, you think that people would use sense. But you know what? The comments in the article, gamers actually use sense. And I agree. The industry needs to get it through their heads. Because I'll put it like this. If you go on Twitter and you see the women that already are in gaming, you know, women who have accomplished so much in gaming, guess what? They're being attacked by the very same people who said there need to be more women in gaming. How does that work? How does that work? I'm just saying this. But if we're going to talk about female protagonists or antagonists or badass, let's start right now, okay? Nina Williams returns in Tekken 7 Faded Retribution. Now, for those who don't understand what's going on, remember, Tekken 7 will be coming to the Xbox One and the PS4, but Tekken 7 Faded Retribution will be coming to the arcades in Japan. So, different version, just to let everyone know. But, let's start with more fighting. Yeah, more fighting. And this is where I have to talk about this pretty pretty lengthy. I want to say this right now. Dr. Rectango did a video on this, and a lot of you had contacted me about this last week because the news came out after, well, I didn't see the news till after I did the video, so I couldn't address it. So this week, I'm addressing it. We're going to talk about this right now. MKX abandoned on PC. That's right. You've got to be kidding me that you abandoned that user base on PC. And you know what? We're seeing this a lot with WB, haven't we? You know, if we can't fix something, well then by all means, just get rid of it. You've got to be kidding me. Do you realize how big that fan base is? And for those who do not know, okay, how big the fan base is, all right? According to Steam Spy, MKX has around 500,000 owners of the game. So, let's get this straight. For people who bought the game at $60, right? And I'm sure they bought the combat packs or whatever. So we'll just say, let's just say, rough rough round figure, ballpark estimate, $100, right? Let's just say that. Let's just say they spent $100 on this game, okay? So, $100 for every person. It's 500,000 users. Do you know how much that comes out to? 100 times 500,000 is what? Anybody? That's $50 million. $50 million. And you're going to tell me you're going to cut off that entire fan base, that platform's fan base, because you're having problems. Look, it was one thing when you got rid of the PS3 version, this 360 version, because of who you handed over to, High Voltage, and you said it couldn't be done. But this is something you clearly have done already and put it out on PC. Fix the game. You just don't cut off a fan base. Especially, like I said, if we're going by this figure of 500,000 users, there's a problem there. There's a huge problem. Like I said, just giving you a rough ballpark estimate, like I said, around 100. Could be less, you know what I mean? Not everyone bought the combat pack or DLC. I want to keep it fair here, you know what I mean? But understand, if we go by those numbers, that's a lot of money. You're going to tell me $50 million. We go by $50 million, all right? And you're still willing to cut them off, knowing that it's not going to take that much to fix the game on PC. You would rather just cut them off and say, hey, we got your money already. It doesn't matter. That's where you want to go. This is a problem, not just with NetherRealm, all right, because they should be held accountable, but also WB Games. Once again, WB Games is screwing the gamer over. We saw it all the time with the Batman series. We've been seeing it time and time again with the Batman series. And now they're doing it again with Mortal Kombat. You've got to be kidding. You know, and like I said, you just announced that MKXL is coming, and then you pull this. Unreal. Unreal. I guess you feel as though, you know, the console versions of the Xbox 360, the Xbox One and the PS4, they must have sold so much that you don't need the PC fan base. That's what you're saying right now. That's the message that you're giving. Because I guarantee you, if the PS4 had a problem, or the Xbox One had a problem, you'd be fixing that shit, wouldn't you? Exactly. I mean, look how long it took you to get the netcode right. But, MKXL. And the sad part about all this is that Indie Gala, that's right, Indie Gala, since this news has been announced, has come out and tried to make MKX an indie game. That's right, they tried to label it indie game and give you 75% off if you buy MKX. Is anyone really falling for this? Please tell me that you're not. Tell me that you got enough sense to stay away from this type of shit at this point. We've seen it in the history when it comes to WB Games. Please stay away as far as I'm concerned. But we have more news. That's right. MKX DLC pricing has been confirmed, and the combat pack will cost, the price will cost $20. Now, mind you, the old combat pack used to cost, what, $30? So, $10 discount, but doesn't really matter at this point. Because you gotta think, if MKXL is what you're getting, alright, and the DLC, the combat pack too, they're going to charge that much because you're getting the other stuff for free, okay? Right. Let's move on more to MKX, please. I refuse to call it MKXL at this point. Like, because it makes no sense. It really doesn't. It's larger because we're giving you most of your stuff. You just say Game of the Year edition. Because the XL, technically, the number-wise, that doesn't make sense. But it doesn't matter. Let's move on to Triborg. That's right. For those who don't know, Triborg will have 3 different variations. But now we are finding out that Triborg will have a 4th variation. So, Quadborg? I mean, really. That Cyrex Sector Smoke and a hidden variation. That pretty much, yeah. 4 variations. Okay. Let's move on to more fighting news, shall we? And you know what? The more I kept seeing this news this week, the worse it got. Come on. For those who don't know. Capcom vs. SNK3. Yeah. I know a lot of people say, oh my god, yeah. Hold on. Oh no, on Capcom vs. SNK3. It's almost Corrupt-A-Wish. It's Corrupt-A-Wish. You know, we would do the exact same thing we did with Darkstalkers to gauge interest in a new game. So you're going to go to conferences or conventions, and you're going to have people hold up their money so that Capcom can say they want a new Capcom vs. SNK 3. Or are you going to bring out a port and put it online to gauge that's what's going on when it comes to fan reaction, or should I say fan sales of that port that you put out digitally, right? And then say, nah, you know what? They don't deserve it. We're not going to give it to them. Because that's what you did with Darkstalkers. That's exactly what you did. Where's the new Darkstalkers game? For Ono to come out and say something like this after the stunts that have been pulled with Darkstalkers, it makes you think, look, we shouldn't, you know, I'll play this. We don't need it. As much as a lot of us would love it, can you really trust Capcom at this point? Can you really? Like I said, until they give you a Darkstalkers, don't even worry about Capcom vs. SNK 3. Make them go back on, you know what I mean? Go back to what they're talking about with Darkstalkers, since he brought it up, okay? And make them do that. Say, no, we're not going to give you anything until you bring out Darkstalkers. But that's too much like right. Too much like right. Besides, the last, crossover game Capcom did, was it Street Fighter vs. Tekken? Yeah, people weren't very happy about that, were they? Yeah. It's a sad time right now when it comes to this type of stuff. Because I've seen people defending all of this shit. No, Capcom's right. They have to gauge their community, blah, blah, blah. No. How about this? Bring out Darkstalkers first, then we can talk about other games, alright? Because right now, it just seems like you went back on your word with Darkstalkers, and you can't be trusted. That's how I see things, okay? Let's move on. Street Fighter. Street Fighter will not receive a Street Fighter 3 style reboot as long as Ono is involved. And, just to let you people know, for Street Fighter 5, there's no room for Blanka. That's weird. There may be no room for Blanka. And a lot of people are going to say right now, DLC. Yep. We'll see what happens. This is what they're saying. But for you to, for them to say, Street Fighter 3 type style, they're saying, you're bringing in all these new characters that people aren't familiar with. What about the old characters? Are you going to go back and do that? And they're saying, no, we won't. So we'll see what happens. But there may not be any room for Blanka. Okay. Let's move on. I mean, really, like I said, if you really believe that there's no room for Blanka or any of these other characters like they did with Sagat, like, you have to be very naive to believe that. Alright, but let's move on. Street Fighter V, first DLC to be released in March. In-game currency is explained, so I'll put the link in the info bar for you there as well. Also, Street Fighter V to get free story expansion in June. Right? Alright, now, this is something we need to talk about, because Capcom, this is talking about going back on your word. We talked about Darkstalkers, but now we need to talk about Street Fighter V alternate costumes. Now, for those who remember, what happened with Armika? I know I hate to bring this up because a lot of people, you're already going to know what's going on if you've been paying attention. Armika Butt Slap has been censored because family friendly, and I find that funny because if anyone has seen the alternate costumes for certain characters, let's say Lara, for example, tell me, Capcom, how is this family friendly? So a butt slap taunt, that's not family friendly. But underboob, severe underboob, that's family friendly, right, Capcom? You know what? Let's see the entire outfit, this alternate outfit of what Lara looks like in this. So Capcom lied right to your fucking faces, and nobody's calling them on, huh? You're just gonna turn and look the other way as if the shit never happened, instead of the community sitting and saying, hey, Capcom, you got some explaining to do. But you know what? Speaking of explaining, they just lie right to your face every fucking time, don't they? You know what? Let's talk about explaining. We talked about this not too long ago, for a couple weeks now, and some of you guys and girls have sent me this video, because of the fact that, hey, this needs to be addressed. We've talked about it, so, okay, community, let's talk about it. Once again, rage quitting. Yeah, now look, we talked about rage quitting before, and I said before, it's okay to rage quit if you're with people that you know, and friends and family, and things of that nature, because you can laugh about it, you know what I mean? Oh, you got salty here, stop, you know what I mean? You can laugh about that type of stuff, you talk about it afterwards, you know what I mean? But when you're online and you're rage quitting because you're trying to learn how to play and get better, you don't rage quit. That goes against everything that you're trying to accomplish, right? Okay, same thing if you're in tournaments. You don't rage quit in fucking tournaments. What's wrong with you? And for those who know what I'm talking about, Mike Ross. That's right, for those who don't know, he had his team, he was supposed to have a team against, Team Combo Fiend, Team Mike Ross or whatever, and they were supposed to have this Mad Catz challenge, and Mike Ross rage quits in the middle of the game.
Don't guess. Just try and play solid.
Trying to get that psychological advantage there by leaving the chains out.
Just doing command throws. Oh no, Mike. Oh no. This is gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt, but it's not gonna kill.
Oh.
Great. Oh my god, he went in.
That would have worked on most people. But unfortunately, Combo Fiend has played this game once or twice.
Maybe 15 times.
It's not working out. Mike just gave me a look because he knows what I'm saying. He knows I'm over here, saying exactly what he's thinking.
And Combo Fiend is looking for that franchise player. He got the first round draft pick on lock.
This is solid right now. Mike with the wake up command throw. Never seen that before. Okay, got the crush counter. That's a hard knockdown now. That's a recent change.
Yeah?
Yes. All sweeps on crush counter are hard knockdowns. Ooh.
Oh wow, okay. Mike
Jab,
with
jab,
that pressure. I mean, he's going to have to really do something here. He is now...
The problem is Combo has super. One hit. Oh, are you dead? Oh no, oh no. Combo Fiend, please.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that was so sick.
That oh, it's over.
That was so sick.
Mike just walked away.
Mike just walked away.
I think Mike...
He's done. He just got up. He's done. He's done. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
He's like, get the camera off me.
Where is he? Where'd he go? Combo Fiend just having a fun time. Wow.
Looks like you're going to be on Mike's team.
Oh no. Combo, please pick
I'm not
me
saying
first.
you were the last one picked during kickball.
Oh my god.
But you might not be the first one either.
Oh no. Oh no.
Well, either way, good luck in the exhibition coming up. So we're going to have a 4v4 with Team Mike Ross versus Team Combo Fiend. We're going to get them back here on the commentary area, and we're going to find out who they're going to be picking first.
Please don't pick me, Mike. Please don't pick me.
Hey,
so let me get this straight. Random player A quits online, right? Because they're salty, okay? It gets recorded or whatever. Everyone shuns the person, whether it's him or her. Doesn't matter, right? Shuns the person, calls them salty, teases them, says they're wrong, they should be ashamed of themselves, blah, 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 right? That happens. Random player A. Mike Ross rage quits, nobody says anything. And here's the thing, because I've been keeping up with this, because I've been asking people, hey, has anyone said anything to Ross yet about this? Has anyone said, look, you should be ashamed of yourself for this? No, nobody. Once again, favoritism being played. Let me get this straight. And I say this also to the people that he's supposed to, he's supposed to be picking on their team. Why the fuck would I want to play with someone like that? He's supposed to be team leader, right? And if team leader is rage quitting, you know what that means? That means all the other people that he's picking, they're probably thinking to themselves, why should I even play hard? If team leader, if the guy who is spotlighted is going to rage quit, you will tell me now he gets the chance to pick a bunch of people? He shouldn't even be in position to do that if he's going to rage quit. But when I say these type of things, too much common sense, it clouds people's judgments, and then here come the fanboys and the fucking cheerleaders, right? Seriously, this guy should be getting a lot of flack for this, and he's not for some reason. Like I said, favoritism in the FGC. He should be ashamed of himself. It's pathetic that he would even go that far. Then to go on to have his own team and pick people. You heard him. Please don't pick me. Please don't pick me. like, you gotta be kidding me. There's no way. There's no. Team leaders don't quit, all right? They're supposed to be the backbone of this. And I find it funny that in the commentary they're talking, and they're like, wake up command grab. I've never seen that before. I'm thinking to myself, that was done a long time ago in King of Fighters, but it is what it is, right? Clark, Sherman, okay. We're going to move on from that. I just find it ridiculous that there's certain people who will get flack, and there's other people who get a free pass. And you should know by now that's not how this community was built. It's never been that way. And you gotta be kidding me. If this guy would walk in somewhere and say, I'm going to play, you'd be like, oh my god, it's Mike Ross. And you wouldn't play your hardest against him. Or you would just give him so much fucking respect. No, make him earn it. It makes no sense. The same thing if they decide to rage quit, if they break down and do whatever, throw something or anything, guess what? Hold them accountable. No one wants to do that these days. Apparently, some people are untouchable as opposed to, random person that you've never heard of. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, let's move on. Street Fighter. More Street Fighter. That's right. Believe it or not, it's a Street Fighter issue, but not really a Capcom issue. Street Fighter has been banned over at Bandai Namco because of the popularity within their company. So the employees play Street Fighter so much over there that they have to ban the damn game over. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Speaking, I shouldn't even say it's even Capcom related, but I guess since he's worked for Capcom, I guess we need to talk about this, right? The Mighty Number 9, Keiji Inafune. Yeah, let's talk about this. For those who don't know, the Mighty Number 9 has been delayed again. Now, since this has been delayed again because of network issues and things of that nature, a lot of people are saying that indie games shouldn't even be worried about network issues that much. But we're seeing a lot of people who funded this game saying, I will never fund this again. Other people are saying, look, I've had enough. I want my money back. Like, people are mad. They are absolutely upset. And even though, if you know, he's saying, you know, I do take responsibility and things of that nature, that doesn't matter. Anyone who's ever watched any type of football or basketball game, the coach always gets out there and says, I'm taking responsibility for the team losing. And guess what? They keep losing week after week after week after week. And the coach come out and say the same thing. I'll take responsibility for losing. It's the same thing. You're going to eventually get tired of it. Same thing. Okay? Unless you start performing and showing, hey, I can change this and this needs to be out, people are going to be upset with you. It's that simple. But the article I'm going to link in the info bar from Time.com, and you should know Time.com is horrible when it comes to video games anyway. This writer, let me tell you now, stupid and selfish. Yeah, I'll call him that, all right? Because I call it out as it is. I'm not just going to say, you know, just name call, just name call. No, I'm going to sit here and say this because he says he is glad that Mighty Number 9 is being delayed again because there's so many other games that are coming out that he wouldn't be able to afford it. That's his reason on why he's happy that the game is delayed. Yes. He even goes on to say that, well, Jonathan Blow's coming out with a game, and I'm going to make sure I buy that. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any money to really buy Mighty Number 9. You know, it can wait. That's what he's saying. Here's the ignorance of all this. This is it. I call it stupid and I call it selfish. Because you ever think that maybe, just maybe, that those games coming out when Mighty Number 9 was supposed to come out, that other gamers are not looking forward to those? You ever think that gamers that were waiting for Mighty Number 9 are just waiting for Mighty Number 9 in general? But instead, you want to say that this is a rational reason, a justifiable reason on why you're glad this game is being delayed. Because you got too many other games you want to buy. That's your reasoning. As opposed to the fans that have supported this game and have been waiting for this game, specifically just this game. But fuck them, right? Fuck them. Like I said, selfish, immature, stupid. That's what it is. I'll talk about more of that later. Yeah, because it needs to be talked about. But let's move on to EA. And their bullshit. Let's go. EA says that they're not trying to be a greedy corporate beast. Really? You really want to say that, EA? Get the fuck out of here. Speaking of not being a greedy corporate beast, because they don't want to be that, right? Check this out. EA CEO was paid $13.9 million in 2014. The CEO, mind you, in 2014, EA was voted the worst company in America. But he was paid $13.9 million for his great work. Also, in more tactics of EA's UFC 2, as we know, we talked about the CM Punk issue and how they were going to try to bait people, because as we know, in the last UFC game, they brought Bruce Lee in, right? Now, they got some new bait for you, because if CM Punk wasn't enough, no. Now they're bringing in Mike Tyson. That's right, Mike Tyson. 2 versions of Mike Tyson you can get as a pre-order if you get this game. Now, a lot of people are complaining and saying, look, he's a boxer. Why is he even in this game? Look, to be fair, Mike Tyson is at UFC events. He is there. He is, I believe he has his own, promotion company, so I'm not surprised if he's trying to pick up mixed martial artists to round out his promotional company. However, to bring in Mike Tyson, all right, in a UFC game, doesn't he make, if that's the case, where's James Toney? Where's James Toney at? Because remember, he actually went in the UFC and fought Randy Couture. So where's James Toney? And matter of fact, since we're bringing boxers into mixed martial arts, where's the next fight night? That's what I want to know. If you're going to use boxers, shouldn't you be giving us another fight night champion? I'm just saying. EA, you are fucking up left and right, and you think that these bait tactics are going to work. I'm sure some stupid ass is going to say, oh, it's Mike Tyson, I'm buying the game. Just like we saw idiots saying, hey, CM Punk, I'm buying this game just for you. Just for you. Yeah. So there's idiots out there to do it. All right? But you've got to be kidding me that this is the pre-order bonus. 2 versions of Mike Tyson, young and older. So you're going to get the bald one with the tattoo on his face, and you get the younger one when he was really destructive back in the day. You gotta be kidding me, man. But once again, it's a game. But like I said, it's a game. If you're really interested in UFC or mixed martial arts, more likely you're already training in it. But you gotta be kidding me that you want to sit here and play this fantasy role. Because if you're going to play this fantasy role, then you can just start putting in all types of people, if that's the case. MKX did it. I can see EA doing it too. Or do you want to keep it somewhat realistic? Matter of fact, EA, how is that tournament going for you? How is your esports going for you to start making tournaments? Huh? I'm still waiting on to hear that. Nothing yet? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's move on, man. And more EA news. Or should I say, it should be MS News, actually. Remember we talked about not too long ago where the kid spent so much money on FIFA, it was over $7,000. Well, now they rounded it out about $8,000 now. They said it was $7,600, something like that. They're rounding out to $8,000 now. For those who don't know, Microsoft refunds $8,000 bill team racked up over in FIFA. So the kid and his parent, his dad, remember his dad said, he didn't know what he was doing. They got their money back, which is good. You know what I mean? So that is something. Also, in survival horror news, let's get to it right now. Layers of Fear is coming to the PS4 in February. That's right. Also, in more news, outer space is still terrifying in Syndrome. And for those who have not seen what this looks like yet, let's take a look at it real quick. I've seen people trying to compare this game to Soma. So we'll see what happens in the future. Also, this game comes out in a number of months for the PC, the PS4, and the Xbox One. So we'll see what happens then, okay? Also, survival horror fans, we need to have a talk. Because I have seen a discrepancy, or I should say a disturbance, in our ranks when it comes to loving survival horror games. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we have fans now that are complaining about backtracking in survival horror games. Specifically, Resident Evil 0. This guy talks about how this game is wasting his time. Jesus fucking Christ, it's 2016. Respect my time. Are you serious? Are you sitting here complaining about backtracking for 30 to 45 minutes? Is that what you're doing? Look, you have to understand. And I'm going to break this down to you because this is what survival horror is. You try to say old school typewriters and things of that nature. This is something that should be a thing of the past. It should be auto-saving. What would be the point of survival horror then? If you're going on, you have to understand. You have to try and survive for X amount of time before you get to the next save point. Or guess what? All that progress you made is gone. That was part of survival horror. That was part of the actual fear of losing your content. You've got to be kidding me that this is what we're complaining about. If there was a time that anybody could say that gamers are entitled, this is a good example of it. Because you've got to be kidding. I'll put it like this. If Capcom didn't remake this game to a T, the way it was before, you would have purists complaining about not being able to backtrack. Because let's be honest here, wasting your time, if you know what you're doing in Resident Evil, it's only going to take you, 3 hours? Maybe 3.5 hours, depending if you're speedrunning or not. It could take you even less to beat. So you want a microwave game, that's what you're saying. You do realize, if you go back and you play the original games, and you know what you're doing, and you're running through it, it does not take long at all to beat. But yet, we should respect this guy's time. Get the fucking kidding me. This is, oh my God. Look, survival horror, this is how it is. If you have a problem with this, what they did, then I would hate to see how you would play the original Silent Hill. Because there was times they didn't even give you clues to where you had to go. Not even, alright? Anyone who saw my Silent Hill stream, when I say, I haven't played this game in years. Where the hell am I going? Running around the fog. I was running around for 45 minutes not knowing where the hell I was going? It's part of the game. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Come on. But it's different when you're actually in a town and in fog and not knowing where you're going and places to go, as opposed to being in a fucking mansion where you can just do process of elimination. every time. I'm just saying, even though it's Resident Evil 0, it's different than the Mansion, but you get what I'm saying. But it's crazy to see people act this way. Seriously, let's just move on, please. And more, I don't even know if you want to call survival horror. I guess some people would. Doom. Let's talk about Doom. Yes, you're right. Doom difficulty has been dialed up. That's right. And there will be a non-linear exploration confirmed story. So Doom fans, you should get ready for that, just to let you know. Also, I want to say, happy 20th. For those who don't know, the Guardian Heroes. That's right, 20th anniversary has pretty much come and gone. It's been a couple days now. But Guardian Heroes has turned 20, and I just want to give a big shout out, big happy birthday to Guardian Heroes. I may have to play that. It's been a while, you know. Also, in Nintendo news, and this is where we have to talk a bit about this. Yeah. First, I'll start off with some good news, alright? There is rumor that a new Paper Mario game is coming to the Wii U. Okay? So, Paper Mario fans, you can get excited. Also, in Japan, Detective Pikachu is coming to the 3DS on February 3rd. Now, for those who have not seen this, I'll put the trailer in the info bar. Pikachu's actually walking around with a Sherlock Holmes hat on his head. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Okay? Now, let's get into the bad news, right? This is things that we need to talk about when it comes to community and immaturity and things of that nature. Fire Emblem Fates removes petting minigame in the West. Now, I want to talk about this due to the fact that there's just some things that have just been very disturbing. Now, I see a lot of people who are very upset about this, and their problem is, it's being censored, and it shouldn't be, because it's not fair. Then we're seeing gamers come out, and I've seen this. Gamers are coming out and just saying, look, I don't agree with, with it being censored. Others are saying, I agree with it being censored, and because you disagree with me, I'm going to call you a bunch of names. Yeah. That's where they're going with this. So, this is the part where I have to come in and say, shut the fuck up. Seriously. People are so worried about jumping on camera or getting on Twitter and having their opinion instead of being able to sit and talk about this like adults. And here's the thing. You want to act like you're an adult and you want to sit here and call people a bunch of names over this, then you know what? That makes you no different than the ones you're accusing. You realize this, right? Now, let's talk about this like adults, because we have too many fucking idiots out there name calling, since that's all you respond to, okay? Too many fucking idiots out there so used to just running their mouth and people saying, I like this, I like this. No, it's stupid. And it doesn't help our situation any when it comes to community. Every time they call you immature and you do some shit like this is what it does. Shut the fuck up. Let's talk about this the way it's supposed to be talked about. Now I'm going to bring up an article about being censored in this type of thing when it comes to Japanese games, bringing them over to the West and being censored. So let's talk about Sakurai as he talked about this in Famitsu Volume 485, okay? About don't need this, don't need that. So, let's get into this, alright? Now, Sakurai says that this feature, alright, in general, features in general, and people say that this needs to be taken out and things of that nature. Let's talk about this. He says, I'm not a big fan of dating simulators myself. It says, so I can't say I don't understand their disinterest in a certain extent. At the same time, however, the feature in question doesn't have any impact on one's ability to complete the game. So if it bothers you that much, and it says it in very big bold letters, then don't use that feature. I think that's pretty fucking fair. Instead of bitching and moaning and starting fights and creating drama and calling people a bunch of names, how about you just don't use the fucking feature? Because it's not mandatory, okay? And the thing is, you'll see this also on the other side as well. Well, they can take it out because it doesn't hurt the game. Well, if that's the case, well, they can keep it in if it doesn't hurt the game's completion. See how that works? But let's move on. It says, say you buy a box lunch, and it happens to contain a variety of foods, including one that you hate. It says, even if you love everything else about that meal, are you going to single that one food you dislike and lambast it? And it says, and lambast the entire meal for it? No, you're not going to. Alright? It says, what about the people who happen to love that food? Good question. It says, it's a meal only worth insofar, so it caters to your, it says, to your each and every preference. Yeah, because that's what you want, right? It says, developers include all sorts of demerit-based mindset. It says, doesn't leave much room for anything extra, and games become pretty dry, and that's no fun. Okay, with that being said, it goes to show you how ridiculous this can get, alright? And this is from so-called, gamers. You gotta be kidding me that you would make a single video, or you would get on Twitter, or you would get on Facebook, or you would get on forum, And you would just run your mouth and call people a bunch of fucking names because they disagree with you when it comes to censorship. That's about as immature as it gets, okay? But I'll say this. Since we've seen this now, and we're seeing that, because a lot of people are saying, well, it's not true, they didn't remove it, as we're seeing other places saying it is true, that they are removing it. But one gamer points it out best on the hypocrisy of all this. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's look at this right now. So it's okay, because family friendly, it's okay to pet Pokemon genitals, but it's not okay to pet, I guess, head pet or face pet a person. Are you fucking serious? Is this the shit look, and this is what kills me the most, because all these so-called crusaders that come out and say this shit and say they're so against this, it's so triggering, I'm offended. And I'm thinking to myself, there are many other times that shit like this went through and you never said anything then. So seriously, just how real are you at this point? Fucking joke. Seriously, this is what you complain about. So let's call people a bunch of fucking names because they don't want it censored. Because, they want the product, the original product, the way the developers intended to keep it. Right. Yeah, come on, man. This is fucking pathetic. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should. Alright? Just saying. But I will put the link in the info bar to Sakurai's comments of that Famitsu article, just to let you know, because that's what we're supposed to do here. We're supposed to sit here and give you information and give you links to back it up so you can see that we're not bullshitting you. Instead, you get all these people who start crying and carrying on and start yelling at people and calling them a bunch of names. What does that get? Where does that get anyone? Where does it get anyone? Nowhere. So thank you for doing that shit, because guess what? You just gave the media enough fucking ammo again to just say, hey, they're immature. You did it again. Yeah, thanks, fucking idiots. Yeah, there's your more insult. There you go, because that's all you, like I said, that's all you respond to. Now, let's move on to more Nintendo news. Mario Kart 64's Ghost Mode is not available on the Wii U. And some people are very upset about this, but I think that people don't realize is that when it came to the original Mario Kart 64, Ghost Mode was saved on your, in your memory pack. It wasn't built in the game. So that's the reason why it's not in there. However, people are saying they really do need to put it in the game. Which, I'm for if they want to put it in the game, but I don't see why people should be complaining, because, like I said, it was in that pack. That's what it was. That little pack that you connected to your 64... Yeah, your save pack. That's what it was. So, just to let you know, that's where the Ghost Mode came from. It had nothing to do with what was in the actual game. Alright, let's move on. In more Wii U news, a lot of Wii U news this week, Oddworld Remake is 99.99% done, apparently. That's right, so that will be coming very soon for those Abe's Oddworld, who are fans of it. That's coming. Also, in some awesome news, for those who haven't seen, I will put the trailer in the info bar for you. That's right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan. Looking really good right now. Platinum Games is doing a hell of a job. As soon as I turned on the trailer, though, it came out, it was like Activision. I was like, but fine, whatever, you know what I mean? But still, the developers look like they're really doing a good job. They did a great job with Transformers Devastation. For what we're seeing so far with this game, it's looking very promising, and it will be on all platforms, even the PS3 and 360 as well. So Platinum is really doing a great job, I think, as of late, by keeping everyone together on every platform. Because you know what? Gaming community. Yeah, they're not excluding people at this point. I find it really, well, I shouldn't say at this point, all over. I mean, they're trying their hardest to try and pander, I shouldn't say pander, but to cater to everyone, on every platform. They're trying, you know what I mean? It's more than what a lot of developers are doing these days, isn't it? Yeah. Anyways, that's the news for this week. I want to say this, I'm very disappointed to see the community the way they've been acting this week. You know what I mean? You see what these things, and that's the thing, you have to understand, the industry can only get away with so much if the community lets them. And when you let them get away, you should know how it is. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And then if you turn your head on that, you take another mile. You know what I mean? That's what they do. It's absolutely absurd that the PC community has been abandoned on MKX. That is a big problem. It's a big problem with WB games in general. Because like I said, they didn't just do this with MKX. They also did it with the Batman series. It's a problem. Did they ever fix Arkham Origins? No? Didn't? Okay. Didn't at all. It goes to show you that these companies are just, like I said, it's not like it used to be back in the day where you can talk to companies and have a good rapport and say, hey, look, you screw me and we're done. And the company's like, all right, yeah, we realize that if we screw you, you're done, so we got to do right by you. And everyone got along. These days, it's, fuck you, I don't need you. And I'm going to treat you how I want because I got your money already. And guess what? You're going to come back anyway because we're going to make another one. Like I said, again, this addiction mentality. We talked about this years ago about people acting like crackheads. How many times have we seen people, I don't care what they call me, I just want my video. I don't care what they say about others, I just want my video. They can disrespect me all they want. They can call me a bunch of names. I'm still going to buy their product. No integrity. None. Like I said, these are the people who always want to talk about being mature and being adult and things of that nature, and then you act this way. Can't even have a conversation, a legit conversation of what's going on with this without a bunch of name calling. Like I said, it's the only thing y'all seem like y'all respond to. That's the only reason I do it. Seriously. It's ridiculous, man. But this is our community. These are the people you want to hold up high, like the Mike Rosses and things of that nature. Oh, man, I'm losing, I quit. Man, take your loss like a competitor. I'm leaving, though. Sit and watch it. Because that's how you learn. So then the next time, because you're going to remember that. So the next time you say, I'm not going to let this shit happen to me. And you make sure it don't happen again. But no, it's just easier to pause the game and walk off, right? Fucking pathetic, man. What happened to our community, dude? Seriously. Is it this new generation of gamers? Is it YouTube? I mean, because we're seeing a lot of people all of a sudden worry more about being entertaining and then instead of just talking about, rationalizing and talking about games. Is that what it is? I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, it needs to be changed. Maybe you guys and girls in the comments know more, about this, the influctuation of idiocy than I do. It's like people just lost their fucking brains. It's like they didn't stop to think, not once, not fucking once. Think about this and talk about this rationally. Not once. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe, man. I'm out.